Hi, I'm going to talk to you about a bit of a classic today. This will be a review somewhat. I'll do a bit of light testing, but more just a conversation point. This is the Ka-Bar US MC. This is the modern version of their combat utility knife. That's how they market it. It's sort of a general purpose you could use for fighting or you could use for survival. It's a 7-inch version. You can also get a 5-inch version, which is called the USMC Short. You can get it with a leather stacked handle, or you can get it with this Kraton handle. You can get it in black and in foliage green if you choose this Kraton handle. It is a 1095 steel 7-inch blade, hardened to 56 to 58 Rockwell, which is quite a good level of hardness. Once the Rockwell goes a bit further up, it starts to be less good on sort of semi-hard materials like wood and things like that, like in impacts and such. Great for slicing, really sharp, hard, not like hard Rockwell knife edges, but yeah, they start to fall apart a bit when you start putting them under stress. So you keep it low and keep a nice carbon steel 1095 Krovan, time tested and proven. You get a 1/8 of an inch thick blade stock, which is about 4mm or so, and it's a full tang knife with a stick tang. So the stick tang is that thin or that thick. So you look from top to bottom there, and then you look at how thick the knife is. So it comes sort of down the handle, and then it's pinned with that silver pin there. Pros and cons to that: obviously structurally, those big thick slab knives are more sound. You can pry with them, and you can probably baton with them a bit more confidently than with this. But on the other hand, when you just do a stick tang, you can wrap it with a nice round handle like so, rather than just having slabs to work with. And I know you can sand slabs and put contours in them, but when it's completely encompassed like that, you can have a really nice barrel type handle, which is really, really nice. This Kraton material is super grippy. It's great. Those grooves really grab the fat of your hand as well. My use for this knife is purely as for camp tasks. I'm not going to be doing hard use with this. The flat pommel is really, really good. It is like nice and broad. Some knives say you can hammer with the pommel, and then they just give you, like, even my Falkniven's a bit of a culprit for that, and it just gives you a little bit of steel poking out. This is a proper flat hammer. It's great. The guard is good for probably more of your combat purposes, but even still, if you're a bit of a knife newbie or you're getting a gift knife for someone, you can probably give this to them and be more sure that they're going to, cut their hands off when they're using it. So get them a guard to protect them if you think they're a bit mongy with knives still. The knife comes very sharp out the box. The steel has held up quite well so far. I've done a bit of testing on it. I did some chopping before. I always find the best way to get to know a knife is just to smack it into some wood for a little bit and do a bit of chopping. Chopping and carving, it's sound, it's fine. This will do your general, it's got a nice flat grind, so it's going to do all your general camp tasks pretty well. So the flat, you see it's flat from here, and then you get to the second part here with the blood groove. It's not a blood groove, it's a fuller. Blood groove is sort of a slang term for it. But yeah, this part here is good for your holding sharpeners, like your edge power apexes and stuff, because it's another flat part to grab onto. So the full flat grind will make it a good slicer, and the tip makes it a good piercer. Very good, practical blade shape. So overall, I'm really happy with it so far. It's a good American-made knife. You can see there, made in USA on the tang there, by Ka-Bar. So this is a proper Ka-Bar knife. You can get other ones made by Smith & Wesson. Cold Steel do a version. It's a very classic knife pattern, and the main reason I got it is for collectability. I didn't have a 7-inch knife. I'll show you it against some other knife sizes in a second. I didn't have a 7-inch knife, and this was a good price. It's famous, it's time proven, so I thought I'd get this one. I'll take this to camp, I'll take this on hikes. I won't put it through anything too hard. I won't ever take this just by itself, because I wouldn't baton with this knife. So whilst I would take my Falkniven F1 or my Ontario SP5 by itself, because you can do all of the stuff with it, this will always be supported by a splitting device like an axe or something like that. Okay? So, I believe I've talked about the handle being comfortable, the blade shape being good, the steel materials being well made, pros and cons of the tang. So I will do a couple of usage videos, and then I'll wrap it up there. Okay? So thanks for watching. See you later. A bit of light chopping with the Ka-Bar. That handle is quite good for holding on to. You just wrap that circular part around your fingers and just sort of flick away with the knife. You can sort of see it's getting there. It's just it's obviously not an ideal tool for chopping, but definitely has the weight and the length to be able to make some leeway into beavering away around the stick. But people who go cutting trees down with K-bars are probably missing the point of bringing the appropriate bush tools. This is the K-bar USMC in its sheath. So the sheath has two steps of retention. One is the sheath itself. It's a glass-filled nylon that has a small amount of spring in it, so it clasps shut over the knife. So when you push the knife in, it clips in, so then it won't fall out just on its own sort of rattle. And to open it, you just push down on this plate here, just anywhere on it roughly, nothing specific, and pull out. Secondly is the strap. Just goes around the top with a button snap. I always prefer the button snap. They take a little bit longer to do up, but I just don't like the sound of ripping Velcro. It comes with this separate sort of plastic attachment here. I guess that's for attaching to a bag or just helping out a little bit. You can't slip this off without taking your belt on and off, so you need to plan to put this knife on. It's got some holes here. It's got a drainage hole at the back there. Looks like a little face. See? Hello. And then it's got you can put a lanyard around here, wrap it around your leg. The knife does start to get a bit long at this point to swing around. So yeah, I might put a lanyard on it. I'm not sure. Then you can modify these side bits as well, putting on various tech locks and other systems. But it's a really good lightweight, sort of strong sheath, much preferable to the leather one because it'll last a lot longer. So it's the sheath, and the sheath is good. Doing a bit of carving with this knife. The best way I've found to carve with it is to just sort of rest it on the wood and just use your thumb to just push it. It's not super comfy on the thumb, but the existence of this guard does kind of limit your movements along the handle. So your proper bushcraft knife, which is why this isn't a bushcraft knife. It's a this is a multi-tool kind of knife, so it's supposed to be able to do everything somewhat well rather than doing anything great. So because it's not a bushcraft knife and you have to make your way around this guard, that's just how it is. I've found the best way and the safest way is to do it like so. So if you are making a little bit of a tent stake over a few minutes, just probably like this is how I would do it. You could always pop it on a flat surface and just sort of start just sort of chop it away. So see, definitely is fine at chopping, but as I said, I'll never put this knife in a situation where it's my only tool. So this knife's going to have a bit more of an easy life than some of my other ones, which I think it's deserved. It's not something that you're really supposed to abuse, and plenty of others. If you want to see someone kick the shit out of this knife, you can check out plenty of other YouTube channels for that. So overall, not an amazing carver, but good enough. And that's the K-bar there in the middle, between the Gerber Strong Arm and an Ontario SP9. You can see the sheer size of that SP9, just enormous. Almost unwieldy, but a good one-tool option. This, to get a bit more robust than the K-bar, it's got more of a fuller tang and very, very strong, sort of thick design. So it's the same thickness. Actually, might even be a little bit thicker. It's a touch thicker, and a bit more stout, so you could probably pry, and because it's not as long, it doesn't have that level of, the shorter a tool is, the better, unless you start really thickening it up, the better it is at sort of stout tasks. So you've got three really good sort of somewhat combat survival hybrid knives there. Again, very much like the K-bar, none of the other two will do all the tasks amazingly, but they'll all do it well enough for you to be able to take along. I would support all of these with another tool. So I would support these two with an axe, and I'd support this one with a smaller bushcraft or wood carving knife. One tool options, probably the best one would be the longer 9-inch blade, if you just wanted to truly bring one thing to do all your work. So I think that's my thoughts on all the K-bar. I think I'll sum it up there. I'll go and edit the video together now and make it as cohesive as I can. Thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate your patronage and you're watching my videos and you're following. Trying to work on a few things to make them a little bit shorter, and I've got some great advice from a more experienced YouTuber out there lately. So gradually trying to implement some of that too. So do bear with me if you find my videos a little bit long-winded or frustrating to watch. And thanks for stopping by. I'll see you all later.